Whenever you come across this tarot reading, today is the day. Okay, we do have the card present today, becoming aware in the now. All right, so whenever you come across this tarot reading, there's something happening today. Now, we do have the card love, unconditional love, compassion, genuine union, deja vu, there's history, memories, open heart, receptive, empathy, vulnerable. And we do have the card over here, only you. Beneath that is the card return. Okay, so whenever you come across this tarot reading, now time is an illusion, but we do have the card that says today. Okay, so today, expect to be unblocked, expect to get a phone call, a text message, to see someone in the grocery store, whatever it is. There's someone that you cannot deny the love between you and this person. It could be anybody, platonic or romantic. We're going to dive deeper into who exactly that might be. All right. Now, whenever you're watching this, it can be for you. The reading is general and timeless for all zodiac signs. And if you would like a personal tarot reading, a private one-on-one session with me, or to download our Akashic Records mini course, check out that box below. It does have everything that you will need. All righty. What do we have here? What do we have here for the collective? What's happening today? Why do we have love, deja vu, memories, open heart for today? You and this person have a spiritual union over here, door to spirit. All right. With the deja vu and memories. Yeah, this is a soulmate or higher level soulmate of yours. 144 as I look at the clock. So you could be seeing the number 144. Now, what else do we have here for this reading for today? Love, memories, and open heart. Oh, you better just get ready. Okay, there's nothing that you need to do for this to happen. It's just going to happen. All right, ideas preserved, non-action, entitlement. And then on the bottom of the deck, we do have the web weaver, cause and effect. So for some of you, look at that. You can't make that up. Sacred union. There's something that you did for this to happen. You made a decision, maybe you healed something, or it says cause and effect. Somehow you called in this person that is returning to you. And I will say, whether the memories are, sweet and sour, it's more sweet. That's what I'm seeing in this reading. The love that this person has for you, even if it's a family member, again, platonic, like an old friend, that's such a soulmate, a romantic lover, they're coming back around. All right, so let's see. Let's see what's happening today, collective. What is happening for the collective today? Why do we have today? Love, door to spirit, open heart. Why the Eight of Cups and the Emperor card for today? Love, door to spirit, and open heart. Why the Knight of Cups for today? Love, door to spirit, and open heart. Why Knight of Cups in the Judgment card for today? Love, open spirit. Not open spirit. Open door. Or door to spirit over here. Open heart. All right. Now, definitely you or someone else walked away from one another. Ace of Swords on the bottom of the deck. So this is truth. You or someone else walked away in the past. Why the Eight of Cups for today? Love, door to spirit, open heart. It feels like I'm also hearing the words like, say, end of the spiritual contract, where you guys learned what you had to learn together in the past. All right. There definitely was a walking away, but we have the Hermit card here. So spiritual introspection, spiritual and personal introspection, spiritual enlightenment. Hermit mode is solitude over here with the Hermit card and the Eight of Cups. All right, so someone definitely went to go on a journey, within themselves. Maybe both of you did. Why the Eight of Cups and the Hermit card for today? Love, door to spirit, open heart. And there goes perhaps a romantic partnership. We now have an Emperor and an Empress in the tarot reading. But it looks like the Empress may have taken some time and walked away. Why the Emperor for today? Love, door to spirit. Why the Emperor and the Ten of Wands in reverse for door to spirit, open heart. The divine feminine had to be separate from the divine masculine. here in this reading. Now, remember that divine feminine and masculine is non-gender specific. The divine masculine had to release his burdens away from the divine feminine, is what I'm seeing in this reading. All right, so we do have Libra, Sagittarius, Virgo, Scorpio, and Aries. What I'm seeing is a journey where the divine masculine had to find peace on his own without the divine feminine. So that what I said earlier in the tarot reading of this whole contract was over. You learned what you had to learn. And then you had to learn separately. And I think part of that was you guys do have love for each other as soulmates. But say the love was so strong or was so pure, there were certain things you had to learn separately from one another. Why do we have the Hermit card, the Empress, the Eight of Cups? What I'm also seeing, though, is where the Empress was the magic in a divine masculine's life. It's interesting. And again, remember that all of this energy is not gender specific. It could be male, female, in your personal story for this tarot reading. He had to learn how to find his magic on his own. The magic was the divine feminine. So what I'm seeing here, though, is someone's energy that was being not siphoned, but it was just time for someone to do it on their own. Why do we have the Temperance card, the Emperor, the Ten of Wands in reverse? Why do we have the Emperor, the Temperance, the Ten of Wands in reverse? But this reading, it seems like there's something specific where it feels like there was almost a lesson here for the divine masculine of doing something separate. Knight of Wands with the Nine of Swords here, or the divine feminine's presence, just the simple presence in one's life. It's interesting here. What I am seeing is like the Emperor card, but think in a romantic partnership where, say, a man, comes home from like I'm thinking of like a manly job, like construction, or something. And, just hot-headed around hot-headed men, coming home hot-headed. And it's the soft, gentle, divine feminine's touch, just like when he gets home, that just melts all of that away from him. Like the presence of, it doesn't have to be divine feminine, the presence of someone that loves you, the presence of someone that you love, whatever resonates with you. Someone had to kind of feel what it was separate, what it was to not have that, perhaps to appreciate it. Now, why do we have, what energy is the Emperor in this reading? What energy is the Emperor? I'm telling you that Emperor is about to call you, okay? Emperor or Empress, non-gender specific. This person's about to call you. Now, we do have the card today, so be aware of this today. And it does say it's in the future, a few days to a few weeks, a few months. It's, moving forward. And then I did say specifically unblocking. For some of you, did someone block someone? Someone might be unblocking you soon. Unblocking, talking, conversation, or hearing from. Now, what energy is the Empress in? What energy is the Empress in over here? Oh. But with the Empress over... The Empress was triggered in some way, shape, or form by the Emperor. Oh, someone was tired of being the healer in this partnership. And it was like triggering to this Empress here. The Emperor. The Emperor's masculine energy was triggering to the Empress. Look at the emotions card here. And it's a masculine and feminine confirmation honk. Yeah, this reading is interesting where, the divine masculine here in this reading, again, you could be, non-gender specific. It could be a woman. But there's someone here that had to do the healing separately, releasing the burdens separately, where there was someone here that they were in partnership with, but it's almost like in this partnership, someone became the healer, and the healer ended up becoming drained in this partnership. Where the man, oh, not the man, sorry, we do have an emperor here, very masculine energy on this end. This very masculine energy. He had to learn how to soften on his own. This is a very deep reading, and it might be very specific. It's also very channeled, this reading. Yeah, where it's almost like the divine masculine had to learn to soften on his own without this person present here. But I will say the reason why this reading might be specific is there's someone here that was triggered by someone's masculine energy. How does the Empress feel about the Emperor? How does the Empress feel about the Emperor? It says run away together, but conflict. So it feels like the Empress feels like there's conflict here. Now, how does the Emperor feel about the Empress? How does the Emperor feel about the Empress? How does the Emperor feel about the Empress? Now we do have showing proof, validation, confirmation. No, it does say love affair. For some of you, was there, it does say love affair, just not opening up, like keeping things within. That's how the Emperor feels about this Empress. Interesting. How does the Emperor feel about this Empress? Why is the Emperor bitter? Why is the Emperor bitter here? No, there is someone here, but they're avoiding. They're avoiding all of this here. All right, so the Emperor here is avoiding. We have the card avoidance, mask, where it's like putting up a front. All right, now let's see the future over here. So when we have the card here, door to spirit, it's because this Empress was the healer of the Emperor. Why the Knight of Cups here? Why the Knight of Cups here? Why do we have the Knight of Cups here for the outcome for this Emperor and Empress? Why the Knight of Cups here? Why the Judgment card here for this Emperor and this Empress? Why the Page of Cups for this Emperor and this Empress? Oh, let's see. Why the Ten of Cups and the Page of Cups for this Emperor and Empress? Oh my gosh. I don't know about this Emperor here. And I say that because this Emperor did not. This reading is coming out very specific. And for those of you who watch my readings, this is not the typical type of reading that I do. If this Emperor does not learn his lesson, he will have a child. And he will be forced to learn the lesson by his whole life changing by having a child. This is a very specific reading here. This is very interesting here. Very interesting. So like this could be, say, like an ex of yours. This could be a friend of yours. But what I'm seeing here, like say, for example, even if it's like your ex, those who resonate in this reading, all roles can always be reversed, but you were their healer. And what's specific about this reading is they denied you. 144 as I look at the clock, where they denied you. You were their healer. But then what's kind of key here is they continued to not change. This Emperor. So this very masculine energy continued to not change, but even after they hurt you, collective. And if they continue to not change even after that, they will have a child. Judgment card, Page of Cups, 10 of Cups, 3 of Swords. But, okay, this reading is very channeled, very specific here, where they don't like commitment, they don't like accountability. This Emperor, this divine masculine energy. Because they don't like accountability, you can't not be accountable for a child. 3 of Swords. And so this is kind of the karma over here. That if this person does not continue to heal, like it's the kind of reading where like they could have a child by mistake and it forces them into the timeline that they're supposed to be in. Why the 3 of Swords here for the Page of Cups and the 10 of Cups? Why the 3 of Swords, the 10 of Cups, and the Page of Cups here? Ace of Swords, this is the truth. It forces this person, this divine masculine energy, it forces their heart to open. Because Ace of Cups in reverse, the Ace of Swords, they kept hurting you. And then we have the Emperor card, the 10 of Wands over here. It's like even after they hurt you, like they kept on with the 10 of Wands over here in reverse. The Temperance card. That they were still like bitter or they had resentment and bitterness. We do have that card here, bitterness, resentment. Yeah, where they end up awakening through a child over here. What's the advice for the Empress in this reading? The Empress here has so much going on, okay? Multiple opportunities, victory, success for the Empress. And what do we have for the Emperor for advice in this reading? The Emperor will be successful as they go through this awakening, the Moon card, 7 of Coins. Why the Moon card and the 7 of Coins for the Emperor? Why the Moon card, the 7 of Coins, and the 2 of Cups for advice for the Emperor in this reading? Yeah, where the Emperor ends up learning the lesson through this relationship where there's a child involved. And so this was a romantic partnership here. Emperor and the Empress here in the beginning. You and this person had a romantic partnership, and you guys do have deep love for one another. You were like their healer as well. However, if someone is in a contract and they're forced into that with that person with a child, it's like this person learned this lesson through force is more of like what this reading is saying. All right, so what's final advice for the collective for this reading? For this reading of today. For this reading of today, open heart, door to spirit. What do we have for final advice for this reading? Why King of Coins for today, open heart, door to spirit over here. Yeah, we do have King of Coins, so Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, the 2 of Coins, and then the 10 of Swords over here. And why the 10 of Swords for advice for this reading? You know, for some of you, is this a marriage? It almost feels like there's like a lot of misfortune in one of your ex's life, where it's almost like you had a divorce or you broke up with someone, confirmation, or it could just be just breaking up, you know, but like breaking up with someone. And there's a whole lot of like misfortune, just like energy here. And what does this have to do with the collective here? So it doesn't feel like it has to do with you. You know, it really does feel like it's maybe this person it is that you've been dealing with in this reading. And confirmation hung again. You actually have the 10 of Coins in your energy here. The Strength card and then the 10 of coins. So as you do remain strong, like for you remaining strong with dealing with this person, you're actually getting a 10 of coins for being strong for dealing with this person. And your energy is the 7 of cups, the 6 of wands here. You have nothing but victory, success, and good fortune in your reading for you. And again, it's because you had to be strong when dealing with this person in this situation. Now, with this person here, they're experiencing a lot of misfortune after this breakup, after this divorce, after this separation from you. All right. What's final pieces of advice that the collective may need to hear for today? It's happening today. All right. What do we have for? Yeah, let me tell you, we're over here. They were avoiding their karma. All right. For some of you, maybe it's like you getting a message from them. It could be a sorry. It could be an update on their life. Again, time over here. So it might be the time where it actually, happens, where they reach out to you. We have karma, consequences, cause and effect, and debts. And then escaping, avoiding, blocking, pushing away. Yeah. Where this person avoided their karma with you and then even after you. And so it actually got to the point where they ended up in a soul contract with a child with someone else, learning lessons that now they're forced to learn. All right. So that's what I have for you. I do hope that it resonates in a positive way. I'm sending you all so much love and so many blessings to your day.